Government is government. Ment means mental or the mind. They govern the mind, mind control. They don't want to govern your body. They govern the mind because it's the root cause of reality. This pen, this glove, this book was a thought in the mind before it was physical. By manipulating your belief system, they shape and mold the physical world. Money is just a physical object, but the belief gives it power. If we woke up tomorrow and believed this had no value, it would have no value. You can create your own reality through your belief system. Your physical reality is a result of every thought you thought in the past. Your life is your mind turned outwardly. This Freemason is going viral by him exposing the black sun at the center of the earth. You're probably wondering, what is the black sun? It's the source of all physical creation, which projects the northern lights. Earth is electromagnetic. Your body is electromagnetic. You are a mini earth. Your heart is connected to the earth's heart, the black sun. Your heart is not a pump, it's a vortex energy generator, which takes the energy of the earth's source and turns it into plasma in the blood to run the physical body, also creating your electromagnetic aura. The northern lights is the energy the earth gives out to feed every living being. We are all directly connected with the earth in our hearts. Maybe this is why the word earth is heart rearranged. The earth is green, just like the heart chakra. The sky is blue, just like the throat chakra. Blue comes after green. You are a fractal of the earth, a microcosm of the macrocosm. Your consciousness is heaven and your body is the earth. And space is a lie with zero evidence. You never came from a monkey. You are intelligently designed. Your life has a great meaning. You're in a beautiful experience called life, which is an anagram for file. The body is the technology to experience this reality. The soul is the true you, the I within you. Stay wise, people. You are the universe. Rivers are veins. Rocks are the bones. Soil is the flesh. The 7 planets are the 7 chakras. They're also on your hand, which I can't talk about on here. You have 5 fingers for the 5 elements. 5 points on the body for the 5 elements you're made out of. The jaw is the earth, water is the mouth, air is the nose, and fire is the eyes, and spirit is the third eye. The sun is your conscious mind. The moon is your subconscious mind, thoughts and emotions. Earth is your body, water is your emotions, fire is your spirit, and air is your mind. This is why the Bible has 4 Gospels to show Jesus in the 4 aspects of human consciousness: mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. 12 systems in the body, 12 zodiac signs. Kneecaps for Capricorn. 2 feet are the 2 fish of Pisces. The cerebellum is the cerebellum, the lower brain ruled by Taurus. Cerebram, which is the Lamb of God, which is the Aries. Hips means hippo, which means horse, which is Sagittarius. The 4 seasons of the sun happen inside of you. In summer, we are more happy and we have more energy. In winter, we are more reflective and emotional. It's a soul system, and these cycles happen within your consciousness, not just outside of you. You are the 13th constellation. 13 adds up to 4, the 4 aspects of consciousness. 13 is not unlucky, they made you scared. They're called organs because they're organisms. Your body's a miniature universe, and you, the consciousness, the mind, are the voice of God. This book will make you feel so much better once you understand this. I will never recover from these images that I've just found. Giants definitely existed. Take a look at the size of these people only around 100 years ago. Now imagine the size of these people around 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago. They would have been 10 times bigger than this. The oxygen levels were way higher 1,000 years ago, so just imagine the size of these people. Now what I'm going to show you at the end is going to blow your mind. I think these people were purposely wiped out. Why do we not see them now? What happened to their genetics? Why have they not reached this generation? One thing that you may have not noticed, which is the fashion these people are wearing. Why has humanity lost their sense of beauty and classiness? I have yet to see one obese person in any of these images, which is absolutely crazy. They all look healthy, well-informed, and well-mannered. Humanity has truly lost their ways. Now take a look at this. Maybe this is why the Egyptians showed giant people in their artwork, and maybe their statues were the true size of these humans. I thank you all for being part of this journey. I've now hit 1 million followers on TikTok. There are 3 aspects of your consciousness: thoughts, emotions, and actions. If you align them all towards your goals, you will create the reality that you want. To celebrate, use the code WISDOM for 40% off the Book of Wisdom or anything in the store. Religions were made to hide the truth about yourself. Jesus never turned water into wine. This is gonna blow your mind. Jesus spoke all things to the crowd in parables. Matthew 13:34. It's a symbolic and allegorical story about you turning water into wine. Fire is masculine. Water is feminine. Masculine is intellect. Feminine is emotion. Water is symbolic for emotion. Thoughts are the language of the mind. Emotion is the language of the soul. Emotions are communication from your soul. If you are jealous of someone, this is your soul telling you where you need to be in life. Every fear you have is showing you an obstacle for you to grow, to expand into your life purpose. Water into wine, symbolic in turning negative emotions into growth and expansion, transmuting hate into love, jealousy into your reality. Jesus represents you, a manifestation of God's consciousness in physical form. Jesus tells you, whatever I can do, you can do better in John 14:12. Jesus is you. Baptism is symbolic of moving from earth into water, the second stage of consciousness, truth. Dunking your head in water won't do anything. Baptism happens within. You live in a square home with square windows, and when you are home, you turn on your square TV, or you look at your square phone. When you go outside, you see square buildings. What is it with all of these squares around us? Observing the ancient buildings, they never used to build square rooms or square buildings. You will also never see a square in nature. Or did you know what you see creates your perception of reality? What you take in visually is quite literally shaping and molding your mind. In geometry, the square is the most limited shape, and it is the most simplest shape. Maybe this is done on purpose to lower our mind's potential so that we can be simple. The ancients never built in squares because they understood how energy works. They built pointed roofs so that all of the energy can escape at a singular point. Cubed rooms trap energy. All of our arguments and emotional energy is stuck within the atmosphere of our cubed rooms. Let me know what you think about this one. Thank you to everyone who joined the subscription. You are God. Yahweh in Hebrew forms the body. The 4 Hebrew letters are the 4 elements, which represent your 4 bodies. Earth is the physical body. Water is the emotional body. Fire is the spirit. Air is the mind. Sound of Yahweh is the inhale and exhale of breath. Pause the video and breathe and you can hear it. Yahweh in Hebrew means I am. Jesus in French means I am. Yahweh adds up to 26. You have 206 bones in the body. You have sulfur bridges every 10,565 in your DNA strands, which in Hebrew gematria creates Yahweh. Jesus never existed. You are Jesus. You are God made flesh. Planets are not spinning balls in space. They are lights within the firmament. The 7 planets give you the 7 chakras, the 7 metals, the 7 days of the week, Monday for the moon, Saturday for Saturn, Sunday for the sun. That's why Christians celebrate their God on Sunday, because Jesus is the sun. 12 disciples, the 12 zodiac signs. Sun is your soul. Jesus is the soul inside of you. Jesus represents universal consciousness made human, which is you. 7 planets are the 7 energies that create this universe. 7 days of creation for the 7 planets. The roots are made by Saturn, the leaves are made by the moon, the fruit is made by Jupiter, the stems made by the sun. Everything in the universe is governed by a celestial body. They worship Saturn because Saturn rules time. Saturn is all about conditioning. The stars are inside of you, they are aspects of your consciousness. You are heaven and earth brought together, spirit and matter. The soul system is within you. These are the energies of the soul. Your body's a universe and your consciousness is God. Revelation 1:20. The 7 stars are the 7 angels of the churches. Can't land on a planet. They are luminous, they are lights, and they exist within you. As above, so below. This book literally tells you everything. It's called the Book of Wisdom. The link is in my bio. You are God. Everything physical began as a thought. This pencil, this book, this keyboard all began as a thought in the mind. The world around you is the effect of God's mind. He thought this reality into existence. You are living in the mind of God. You are a thought in the mind of God. You possess a mind, a fractal of God's mind. Just like God thought this reality into existence, you are a smaller version of God and you use your mind to bring thought into physical reality. It's a fractal repeating process of manifestation. You're probably thinking, well, what does this mean? This means you are a creator. You are a magician bringing non-physical thoughts into tangible reality. It means God is not in the sky, and God is someone who can't save you. You save yourself by mastering your mind, because your mind can be a prison and it can be hell if you live in negative mind states. Every religion stems from self-mastery of the mind. By cleansing the mind and purifying your mental state and gaining full control over your mind, you can consciously direct thoughts and energy to the things you want to create in your life, instead of wasting all of your mind's energy on lust, food, and low-level pleasures. The name, the job, the reputation, and any external thing is not God. The true I am, the true source consciousness within you, is God. Climb the pyramid to higher consciousness and purify yourself of these external factors. And in this state is when the mind can create efficiently. Black Friday sale, use code GIFT. When you realize you are a piece of data carrying information through a circuit board made to harness your energy. You might just wake up. You get charged in a court because you're an electrical battery, and when you get charged, you sit in a battery cell. Advertisement is a form of mind control, manipulating emotional energy. The word advertisement is advertised to the mental body, the mind. Billboards surround everywhere, implanting messages within your subconscious. Ask yourself, do you really think we're meant to live this way? Stop praying to Jesus. Instead, do this in Mark 11. Whatever ye pray for, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. This is powerful because it tricks your subconscious mind into believing that you have something before you actually have it. And 90% of your actions on a daily basis are the same as yesterday because of the programs in the subconscious. Reason why people's lives are so messed up is because they're praying from a place of negativity, which is tricking their subconscious. They want this. It takes everything you say as truth. Why do you think the golden rule is to treat others like you want to be treated? It's because of the subconscious. Jesus says in John, in that day you will no longer ask me anything. Because Jesus understood you have the creative power of God of manifesting your own reality. This has even been proven. Your consciousness interacts with an energy grid around you, reflecting your internal states. Essentially, your brain is a supercomputer, simulating a holographic reality, and your thoughts and emotions alter the fabric of reality. When you're not observing something, it exists as a light wave. When your consciousness interacts with it, it collapses it into a particle, into a reality. When Jesus says, I am the light of the world, it's the I am within you is the light of the world. We are all the universe itself experiencing its own reality. Volume 2 will be available soon. Join the email list to be notified when it's available. Noah's Ark never existed. It's a metaphoric story about you. Noah's Ark is in your brain. Noah meets God on a mountain. The mountain is your spine and God is your consciousness. The mountain represents a heightened state of awareness, a higher consciousness. That's why Moses goes on a mountain to meet with God. God then floods the earth to kill all flesh. Earth rearranged is heart. Desire comes from the heart, and he flooded the earth, which is the heart, with water, which represents truth and enlightenment. God never killed everyone on the earth. It's metaphorical for you killing the desire of flesh and the desire of physical things and replenishing the heart. In order to progress spiritually and mentally, you have to heal the heart because this is where all of your desire comes from. You must become God to know God. How can you know God if you are desiring the worldly physical things? All religion stems from the mastery of yourself to become God. None of the characters in the Bible existed. None of the stories are true stories. It's all metaphorical, written in code to how you raise yourself out of the lower carnal mind. The link is in my bio for the Book of Wisdom. What you are seeing here is how music is a form of magic. This is the effect of vibration and frequency being played into some form of liquid. 80% of your body is water, which is a liquid. Any form of music can influence your thoughts and emotions and your intent. That's why in Islam it's haram. Your life is an externalization of your mind. Music is hypnosis, putting you in a hypnotic trance, making you move, feel different emotions and think different thoughts, contributing towards shaping and molding your mind, which then ends up in shaping your external reality. Programs the storehouse of your mind, the subconscious. This is why you remember the lyrics so vividly. The feeling of nostalgia when listening to an old song is a form of a memory loop. Modern day music is a form of propaganda, which is molding the minds of society. This is a war, but the battlefield is in the mind. The mind is the most powerful tool that you've been given. There is nothing that you can't think of because there are infinite possibilities with the mind. Protect your mind at all costs. Money is a spell. That's why the word money has mon within it, which is moon. The moon represents your subconscious. The subconscious controls every system of your body without you being consciously aware of it. Money is just a piece of paper with no value, but your belief in your subconscious gives this piece of paper value, and this belief they installed in you is controlling your life. You are under its spell. A spell is not casted with wands like these movies show you. A spell is something someone's installed into your subconscious mind, and that belief they installed is controlling you. This is what it means to be under a spell. You break the spell by reprogramming your subconscious belief. We all wake up and believe that this piece of paper has no value. Then we have broken the spell. Magic is real. Teach all of this in my university. What you are seeing here is the magnetic power of fire. Every one of these candles represents you, an electromagnetic machine. Your magnetic emotions influence your environment. Strong magnetic charges like attractiveness, charisma, and confidence are felt. Weak magnetic charges are also felt, such as stress, anxiety, fear. Your heart is emanating and radiating your emotions. Your heart is also a receiver of energy. This is why you can feel other people's energy. You can feel their vibe, their vibration. You know if someone is a bad influence or not just by being in their presence. So the word of the day is work on your inner self and you will become a highly magnetic being. Santa is Satan. So this is Santa with the reindeers, and this is the god Saturn, also known as Saturno. The Roman god Santa is always depicted with a long grey beard, holding a scythe in his hand because he's the god of harvesting and time. In ancient Rome, they celebrated something called Saturnalia, a festival dedicated to the god Saturn. And this took place in December, just like Christmas. The summer times governed by the sun, the winter times governed by Saturn. Summer is life, the winter is death. December and winter is when the most deaths occur. So many people die in December. This is when Saturn harvests the souls. Christmas is actually Saturnalia, which is a celebration of death. Don't you think it's weird how we celebrate the winter death instead of having a celebration in the summer life? Symbolism literally doesn't lie. The word Saturn is Satan. Now, of course, Saturn is not a real human with a long beard. This is all symbolic. Kim Kardashian for Halloween wore a reptilian outfit. Many people are saying this is her true form. Maybe she is a reptilian. This looks very realistic. However, reptilians do not exist. There is a region within the human brain that is called the brainstem, which is also known as the reptilian brain. You use this part of the brain when you are in a survival state, fight or flight, eating and breathing. Essentially, this part of the brain does not think. It's always scanning the environment for food, threats, or even reproduction. This aspect of our brain is the lower mind, our animal self. Reptilians do not exist. Reptilians do not rule the world. But the reptilian brain at this moment in time is conquering human consciousness as a collective. Modern society only thinks about reproduction, food, and surviving. We are all stuck in fear and using this part of our brain. Get busy with the Wizzy, with the Book of Wisdom Volume 2. Praying is witchcraft. You are using words to alter your reality. Words create vibrational frequencies. Praying over food is changing the vibrational frequency of the water in the food. They are raising the vibration of the food before they place it in their body. Each cell in our body responds to the frequencies produced by thoughts, words, and emotions. Holding their hands together is an ancient form of meditation because your hands are manifestations of your brain hemispheres. Placing them together completes the electrical circuit of the brain and the body and allows electrical energy to flow through the meridians of the body. This technique was used to balance the hemispheres of the brain during meditation to access a higher consciousness. Jesus even says, "No longer will you ask me for anything." Instead of praying to Jesus, the Bible says, "Believe that you receive them and you shall have it." This way you trick the subconscious mind in believing that you already have it, which will manifest into your reality. You attract what you are. Music is magic. Be careful what you listen to because it molds your mind. The real music is nature, because all sounds originate from the real reality. What if I told you we are not supposed to listen to chorus and repetitive beats? Nature has no chorus, everything is evoluting and changing. Listening to repetitive beats creates a trance and thought loops within our minds, putting you in a hypnotic state.
It's in my brain. Do you know that? It's living rent free. I can't get it out. You did that.
Yeah, it's hypnosis.
Music is a form of magic. You need to be aware of this stuff. Freemasons use this symbol, which is the same symbol for Apple Store, and X when it's mirrored. This symbol is a compass on top and a square below. The square creates a square which has beginning and an end. The compass creates a circle which has no beginning and no end. If the compass is the circle, which means spirit, and square is the square, which is matter, this symbolizes spirit over matter, the compass over the square. Leonardo da Vinci was showing you that you are a spiritual being in a material body. You are an individual. You have a physical body and a non-physical body. The voice in your head and the emotions you feel are eternal, but your physical body will die. The spiritual brain is the mind. The spiritual heart is the soul. The brain and heart are physical manifestations of the mind and soul. The aim is to climb the pyramid to higher consciousness, to your true spirit self, so that you can be spirit over matter and not matter over spirit. They show you these symbols in plain sight. These people are highly enlightened individuals. You will never have power if you don't have knowledge. Knowledge is the true currency of this life. Use code 25 off for the next 12 hours. After 12 hours, it will be going down to 15% off. You have 5 fingers for the 5 elements. The skull corresponds with the elements. The jaw represents the earth. Water goes on top of the earth in the mouth. Air goes through the nose, fire is light in the eyes, and spirit is the third eye. The 4 physical elements are the 4 vibrational states of the ether or spirit. 5 points on the body for the 5 elements. Ether or spirit is the base of all physical matter. The 4 elements are the 4 vibrational states of the ether. It's the most important one, and that's why it's always on the top. That's why the middle finger is swearing, because they hid the ether. Satanic people turn this upside down to put spirit on the bottom because they are materialists. They represent Saturn. This symbol is not evil. The word scared is sacred for a reason, because they've made you scared of all the sacred symbols. This symbol represents the 5 elements of creation. If you want to advance in your life, I am now doing private one-on-one consultations. If you wish to talk to me, let's go on a call. Jesus never existed. The Last Supper is astrology. Each body part is ruled by a zodiac. Aries the lamb rules the head, which is why he's on the head of the table. Taurus rules the neck. He has a very thick neck for Taurus the bull. The next sign is Gemini. Gemini is the 2 arms, the 2 twins. That's why his hands are up for the 2 twins. Next sign is Cancer the crab with pinchers. He's holding a knife for the pincher of Cancer. The next sign is Leo, when the sun is powerful, radiant and summer. That's why he's showing dominance with a clenched fist and an elbow on the table. The next sign is Virgo the virgin. He's pointing that there's no Adam's apple. This is a woman of Virgo the virgin. Jesus is the sun, the light of the world, the risen savior, the son of God. He's placed in a triangle to symbolize the sun's rays. 1 hand up for the daytime, 1 hand down for the taking away of the sun at nighttime. Libra is when the sun is balanced between summer and the winter. That's why Libra is the balanced scales, and the symbol is a half rising sun. That's why he's holding his arms out balanced. Next sign is Scorpio, with this man pointing upwards. Scorpio is our reproductive sexual organs. He's pointing up because you must raise your sexual energy up to Aries. That's why Aries is an anagram for arise. They're in 4 groups of 3 because there are 3 months in each season: Luke, Mark, John and Matthew. Spring, summer, fall, winter. Jesus is the sun, which is our soul. Spring is our physical body, summer's our spirit, fall is our emotions, winter. Pope is opening 5 portals. These are the locations of them. Connecting the dots of these locations creates the sigil of Lucifer. This is going to blow your mind. Sigil of Lucifer is your brain's visual field with the eyes. You don't see into reality. Light enters the eyes and an image is produced in your brain. Everything outside of you is just energy. Your brain turns it into a reality you can interact with. These rituals are all to do with perception. That's why he's opening 5 doors for your 5 senses. 5 points on the body, 5 toes, 5 fingers. 5 is the portal that connects spirit with matter, consciousness interacting with the material world. The Pope is not opening spiritual portals for demons. This was all a psyop. The portal they're opening is a negative portal in your own mind. This ritual was to create fear in our minds to make us project it into the reality, because the physical world is just an externalization of our inner consciousness. By planting fear in the collective minds and projecting this reality to keep us distracted. This is what Lucifer is. Lucifer is you, your consciousness, your divine self, falling for the material tricks. Matrix. This is just another distraction to install fear into your mind. Red fruit is for energy and vitality. Purple and blue fruit is for relaxation because it's high in antioxidants. Green fruit is for the digestive system and detoxification. Orange and yellow is for the brain. Whatever feeling you have is your internal guidance system. And if you know the colours of food, you can use this for your advantage. Your pits is not meant to smell, your breath is not meant to smell, you're not meant to have runny noses, you're not meant to have smelly farts or smelly poos. This is all unnatural food seeping through your skin. We all have a natural odour for our bodies, however we should not be smelling and it should not smell horrible. If you have any of these signs, you need to go on a fruit-only cleanse for at least a month and start to fast and remove all of this toxic waste within the body. If you are not removing waste from the body, it means it's accumulating within the body, and accumulated waste can turn into diseases. If you are eating 3 times a day, you should be going to the toilet 3 times a day. If not, it is accumulating and building waste within the body. Jesus never existed. Jesus represents the sun with his 12 disciples, the 12 zodiac signs: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus. These are the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac, which are the fourfold nature of a human being. Aquarius is air, which is your mind, your mental body. Scorpio is water, which is your emotional body. Taurus is earth, which is your physical body. Leo is fire, which is your spiritual body. Matthew is Aquarius, which is air, the mental body of consciousness. Matthew portrays Jesus as intellectual and communicative, which is the nature of air, your mental body. Mark is the lion, which is Leo, the fire. Gospel of Mark shows Jesus with passion and divine leadership and power. Mark depicts Jesus as the Son of God, which is spirituality and inspiration. Luke is Taurus, which is the earth element, the physical body. Luke portrays Jesus as the man, service, and compassion. Luke emphasizes Jesus' concern for physical and material needs of others. Gospel of John is Scorpio, which is water, the emotional aspect of our consciousness. John shows Jesus doing miracles and shows Jesus as intuitive and transformative. These 4 Gospels represent the 4 aspects of human consciousness. Jesus is the sun, which represents your soul. 12 disciples around the one. 12 zodiacs around the sun. These are energies of your consciousness. As within, so without. Everything outside of you is inside of you. They've lied to you about geometry. Every frequency has its own geometric pattern. Physical matter is just low vibrating energy at a specific frequency. Everything is vibration, vibrating on a specific frequency, which creates a different geometric pattern. Everything contains geometry. They tell you this is God's mathematical codes behind this reality. The true geometry is within you, and I'm going to explain it in a minute. Firstly, you need to understand the brain is an energy decelerator. Nothing around you is physical, it's energy, and your brain condenses it into a reality that you can interact with. Light enters the eyes, it turns into electricity and goes to the optic nerve to the visual cortex, and it creates an image in the brain. Therefore, you are not in the world is within your brain and body. You're experiencing a simulation by your nervous system. Therefore, geometry is actually your brain's mathematical codes on turning energy into matter. These geometric patterns is basically your brain's way of decoding energy. Everything they teach you is external to keep you looking outside yourself, but it's all internal. You are God in human form. The problem with the world is that we lack understanding of who we are, and what we are doing in this physical reality. Religion is just a way to externalize the God inside of you into someone else that you can worship to give away your power. Jesus and Satan are aspects of your consciousness, the higher mind and the lower mind. They just made a character out of it. Porn is free because you pay with your soul. Google is free because you pay with your data. When something is free, you are the product. They have 2 O's because they're watching your data. Your phone is a digital footprint of your mind. Every text you take, every person you call, every search that you type in is being recorded in a database. Therefore, your phone is tracking the collective minds of the masses. All of our behavior is being fed into an artificial consciousness, AI. You created AI by feeding your mind into these tracking devices. AI will control everything and make you a slave. Don't let your phone be a prison for your mind. That's why it's called a cell phone. Instead, spread the word to the world by reposting these videos that I make and earn an income from your phone. Many of my affiliates have quit their job, earning freedom, making an income from their phone. It's not about the money, it doesn't exist. It's the freedom you can gain from it and live the life that you truly want to live. Click sign up, fill in the form, download my videos, and repost the videos. I've made this program for you, so you can gain freedom, and so we can spread an amazing message to the world. The link is in my bio to sign up. Why is it the ancient gods all carry this bag alongside with a pine cone? Even the Pope carries a pine cone. Vatican has the pine cone with the dome. Bags are the carrier of things and they can be passed on, and it's always carried in their left hand. In the Cabala, the right represents wisdom, the left represents knowledge. This represents the carrier of secret knowledge of how to activate the pine cone. The left is the knowledge, the right is the applied knowledge, wisdom. Pine cones can be open or they can be closed. Pine is pin, which is the pineal gland, a spiritual gland in the brain which acts as an antenna for our consciousness. You have a physical body and a spiritual body, but most humans are stuck in their physical form. This bag is the secret knowledge of how to activate our spiritual body by activating our pineal gland, going from asleep to awakened, from darkness to the light, from hell to heaven. Pineal gland is not the third eye. Pineal gland is an antenna, a receiver of consciousness. The mind is the third eye. I have a free guide of activating the inner eye on my website. This guide contains teachings from my university. I'm looking for serious students who are interested in occult and esoteric teachings to join my community. Religions were made to hide the truth about yourself. Matthew 21:12, Jesus went into the temple of God. Corinthians 3:16, do you not know that you are the temple of God? Jesus entered within himself to go to God, which is why he tells you to meditate in Luke 6:6. When thou prayest, enter in thine inner chamber, and having shut thy door, the inner chamber, the inner self. Shutting the door is taking no thought, which is exactly what Jesus says, therefore take no thought, in Matthew 6:34. He says this 5 times because you have 5 senses. You must turn off the 5 senses and take no thought. When you turn off activity, thought and emotion, you connect with pure consciousness, which allows you to meet the Lord in the air, Theologians 4:17. Earth is the body, water is emotion, fire is spirit, air is the mind. Raise yourself up to the air, enter in the mind. All your life you've been thinking. When you stop thinking, you open up other aspects of your consciousness. The church does not want you to know this, to keep your soul trapped in the physical plane. You need to go from hell to heaven, heel to head, matter to spirit. Join the university if you want to become enlightened. We have a library, manifestation course, Q&As and lectures every week. Sex is sacred energy exchange. Your DNA and energy is exchanged, creating an emotional bond on the astral plane, which connects your soul with their soul, their emotions with your emotions. Don't have sex with just anyone. Their trauma and emotions can affect you. Sex is a sacred ritual which invokes a soul into the physical world, because the woman holds a portal and the man holds the key to open the portal from the astral into the physical plane. Performing sex with a negative mindset will invoke a negative soul. You must perform the ritual properly. Don't waste your sexual energy. This energy creates a human life. Transmute it to create something else. You shouldn't release unless you're making a baby. Releasing is making you mineral deficient and flooding your brain with dopamine, which is the brain's reward system. Releasing is tricking yourself that you've achieved something. This is why you have no drive, no passion, no energy, because you're tricking your brain that you've achieved something already. Women store DNA from every man they've made love with, which could even affect their offspring. In order for creation, there must be destruction. The woman goes through pain to give birth to a beautiful child. Every time you release, you're killing your creativity, your drive. Don't have sex with just anyone, and don't release your fluids. Mineral deficiency is linked to balding. I'll see you inside of Ethereal University. If you join now, you get a free sexual alchemy course before the price goes. Parents are a pair who rents. Because you don't own your child, you sign them away using a signature. You signed your nature with a sigil. A sigil is a symbol used in witchcraft. Oh my God! You are born into this world, and the word born comes from barren, which means lifeless, dull, and boring. Then you are controlled by the government, the governmentality. They control your mind. Everything physical began as a thought in the thinking mind. The mind is the root cause of reality, so they control your mind, not your body. They do this by broadcasting spells to north, east, west, and south, the news. My God! Wow! Then they teach you the vowels in this specific order, A, E, I, O, U, to teach you that you owe them to become a slave. You are weak in the weekdays because you are working. Where you were a king, you are no longer a king if you are working. Then on the weekend, you are weakened from the weekdays. Days is a daze where you are in a state of confusion. The television is used to tell a vision, to program you on the programs. They want you to think slaughter is laughter, hello is hell is low. Words are swords because they mold your mind. They also create three-dimensional sound waves which impacts the fabric of matter. I believe that we were never meant to use words. Language has been manipulated so that we no longer use telepathy because we are all connected on the mental plane. We still have telepathic powers which we call intuition. Your body is a temple. These Egyptian temples were not for worship. These temples were 3D schools which communicated to the student through a sophisticated language of symbols, volumes and proportions, revealing ancient wisdom. They started their journey in the entrance, which represents the heels, because the temples were built in the human form, because they understood that God is within man, implying that man embodies the universe. The same principles that govern man are also the same governing the universe. It was a school teaching mental and spiritual ascension, to go from matter to spirit, from heel hell to head heaven. That's why the entrance is at the heels, representing the physical plane, the physical self, the lower carnal mind. The body wants the physical pleasures. Then raising up through the symbolism in these rooms up to the head heaven, which is the spiritual place. It is the spinal column that is the stairway to heaven. The Bible even talks about this, but you're just not reading it correctly. The word Yahweh means I am. Jesus in French is I am. Jesus in Latin is you are us. Be still and know that I am God. It's the I am within you is God. I am the light of the world. You project your own reality. You are the universe experiencing itself. You are a fractal of the consciousness of the universe, which is God. Satan represents your lower carnal mind that wants the fleshly desire. Book of Wisdom Volume 2 is nearly...
There was no year zero. You know why there's no year zero?
The word calendar comes from calends. Calends is the first day of the month the Romans had to pay off their debt. Calendar is an invention by Pope Gregory to remind people when to pay taxes. You are born into this copyrighted timeline, and this copyrighted timeline is on your birth certificate, which means you are owned by them. They did this also to lose concept of true time. We are not in 2024. The word month comes from moon, because a month is a 28-day lunar cycle. 365 divided by 28 is 13. We have 13 lunar cycles every year. Where is the missing month? This is where it gets crazy. We don't know what year we are truly in, people. The fluids in our body are in cycle with the moon. That's why women have a menstruation cycle every 28 days. The ancients would never eat anything on a full moon, and they would do rituals. Maybe they did this to keep us out of sync with the celestial bodies, because they hold influence over our consciousness. There's so much more that goes into. Demon is D-mon. Mon is moon, meaning emotion. D means negative. A demon is a negative emotion, which possess your mind, body and spirit. These entities are created by your own thought forms. You feed them by giving them mental and emotional energy. Every addiction you have is an astral entity that you have created. The more thoughts and emotions that you give to these entities, the stronger impact they have over your physical body. I, Magi Nation. You are a magician bringing thought and emotions into physical reality. You've been doing magic your whole life. You are living in the black cube matrix of Saturn. There is a deep meaning behind these black cubes you see in every major city. On the North Pole of Saturn there is a hexagon, which is a cube. In your external reality, Saturn rules the roots of trees, bones and underlying frameworks. Saturn is the god of conditions and limitation. This is why he's known as the god of time, because time is a limitation. Your physical body is a limitation for your infinite mind. Mind can project into the future and go backwards into the past. Your body cannot, because it's stuck to the three-dimensional world. The mind can expand into infinite fields of thought. There's nothing impossible with your mind. The energy of Saturn is being abused to condition your consciousness into a physical low state, trapping your mind in a three-dimensional way of thinking. Do this through religion, hence why all religions have symbolism of Saturn. They condition your mind through the educational system, hence why you wear a black cube on your head. This is why a judge wears a black robe, to enforce limitation and laws. Black represents Saturn. It represents dense, cold matter and limitation. Alcohol means body-eating spirit, al-kul in Arabic. That's why vodka is called spirits. A jinn is a jinn, which is another type of spiritual entity. Alcohol was developed by alchemists who developed a way of extracting spirits from liquid. Alcohol is a form of a magic potion which the ancients used to alter their consciousness. They don't tell you about the astral and etheric plane, the realms beyond physical. Alcohol contains ethanol, which is ethanol, which is the barrier between the physical and the astral plane. Ancient magicians used potions to enhance their speed, strength, or whatever they want. Alcohol is a demonic potion which enhances aggression and violence because you're being possessed by these entities in the astral plane. Alcohol weakens your vibrational field, which allows these entities to enter your body. This is why people change to dark behaviors when they're intoxicated. The entities within them engage in violence and low-level sexual encounters. The whole world is drinking magic potions used for witchcraft. Why do you think you can buy alcohol in every shop and there's a pub on every street? Alcohol also weakens the immune system, kills brain cells, and reduces amounts of oxygen to reach the brain. Magic never disappeared. It was veiled in myths and stories to make it seem like a fantasy. 24-hour sale. Use the code HAPPY to save 15% on the Book of Wisdom. Religions were made to hide the truth about yourself. Matthew 21:12. Jesus went into the temple of God. Then it goes to say in Corinthians 3:16, do you not know that you are the temple of God? This is why the side of your head's called a temple, because the kingdom of God is within you. Christians aren't even following the word of Jesus, they're following the word of the church. Jesus tells you to meditate. When you pray, enter into the inner chamber and shut the door. The inner chamber is the inner part of your brain, your mind. Shutting the door is turning off the mind. Jesus says take no thought 5 times in Matthew chapter 6 because you have 5 senses. Jesus is telling you to turn off the 5 senses and meditate. When you turn off the body and thought, other aspects of your consciousness can open up and connect with God. Jesus was a mystic telling you to go within yourself, not a God to worship. The church is the biggest scam. No man in the sky will ever save you. The devil does not exist. This book will literally tell you everything. Use the code WISDOM, all capital letters, for 40% off. Have you ever wondered why, if you minus all of the numbers on a clock, it adds up to 6? Well, here's why. 6 is the number of time, space, and matter. It represents the 3-dimensional material world. Up, down, left, right, backwards, and forward. It's a 6-sided cube. 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute, 24 hours in a day, 2 plus 4 equals 6. That's 666 in total. This is why you see black cubes everywhere you go, or the Nintendo GameCube. Jesus' cross is a cube unfolded. Jews wear a cube on top of their heads, and there's a reason why we say think outside the box. This is where it gets a bit crazy. 666 is the exact same structure of carbon, and your body's made out of carbon. The body is the mark of the beast, the mark of this 3-dimensional material world. When the Bible says Satan, who's the god of this world, it represents Saturn, which is the god of time. Everything dies in time, therefore time is the god of this world. It rules this world. Everything physical began as a thought in the mind. The physical world is a shadow or an effect of thought. Therefore, your physical body is stuck in time, but your mind is outside of time. This is why your mind can go in the past and the future, but your body cannot. Thinking outside the box is a term referring to thinking outside of the physical plane, which is activating the light bodies, the eternal self, also known as astral projection. What I'm saying is your body is nothing. You are not your body. You are the eternal consciousness, which is not bound by the physical plane. You just have to awaken these other bodies. 13 is not unlucky. They made you scared. Jesus has 12 disciples. He is the 13th. 1 plus 3 is 4. You have a 4-fold nature, a mind, spirit, emotion, and body. This is why he has 4 gospels. Mark shows Jesus as a spiritual teacher. John shows Jesus as an emotional creature, water into wine. Matthew shows Jesus as a mental body, where he's intellectual and communicative. And Luke shows Jesus as a human being, where he does physical things for other people. 13 represents human consciousness. They have demonized it. That's why the word sacred is scared rearranged. They made you scared of all the sacred symbols. Water is emotion, air is the mind, earth is the body, and fire is the spirit. The Bible is filled with metaphors, cryptograms, astrological codes, and numerological codes. Jesus never existed. He represents you. He represents God made flesh. You are an extension of God's consciousness. Watch this YouTube video to find out. Heaven and hell are not places, they are mind states. Head is heaven and heel is hell, and the bottom of the foot is called the soul. 144,000 chosen ones will go to heaven according to the Bible. 1 plus 4 and 4 is 9. 9 represents consciousness. That's why I is the 9th letter of the English alphabet, because when you say I, you're referring to your consciousness. 144,000 is a state of consciousness. That's why 666 adds up to 9, because the mark of the beast is the lower self. 66 is 3, 6 sixes. 3 represents the 3 aspects of consciousness: thoughts, emotions, actions. 6 is the number of physical reality. That's why the cube has 6 sides, and you're in a cube now. You can only move forward, backwards, left, right, upwards, and downs. 666 is when your thoughts, emotions, and actions are all based on physical reality, cutting off your spirituality. You are the beast in your lower nature. Your consciousness does not operate in this physical reality. That's why you must think outside of the box. The body is the box. The body is the beast, the animal. You are an individual. You exist in 2 realms at once: a material external reality and a spiritual non-physical reality internally, which is the compass and the square combined, spirit and matter. Internal spiritual world projects your outer material world. Spirit is heaven, matter is hell. Reason you feel so lost is because you don't understand your nature. Understanding who you are makes you feel so much better. Did you know your heart is not actually a pump? The heart is in the shape of a chestahedron, a 7-sided shape where all of the surface areas are the same. Placing a chestahedron in water creates a vortex in the water, and your heart tissues is in a vortex spiral. Your heart is actually one muscle but wrapped in a spiraling vortex form. This is because your heart is a vortex energy generator. Blood enters the heart and creates a vortex spiral inside of the heart. Your heart turns water in the blood into plasma, the 4th state of water, which they'll never tell you about. Plasma makes up approximately 55% of your blood. The earth is electromagnetic. The reason why heart rearranged is earth is because the heart takes the electromagnetic energy of the earth and turns this into plasma in the blood to run the physical body. Your heart is directly connected to the universe, to the electromagnetic energy of the earth. This is why we always see Jesus pointing at his heart. Your heart is inside of the chest. This is where the treasure is, inside of the heart. Your heart contains 40,000 neurons, which is the exact same cells in your brain. The heart is the emotional brain, which gives you guidance. It tells you what is right and what is wrong. This is why we say follow your heart. They are trapping your soul in the earth. It's a soul system, not a solar system. We start in the stars and we descend through the 7 planets, which give you the 7 chakras, the 7 colors, 7 days of creation, the 7 days of the week: Saturday for Saturn, Monday for the moon, Sunday for the sun. This is where we come from, unconditioned consciousness. Our consciousness falls and conditions into these states to be created in this world. Each one of us is a star. Hue, man, light manifested in physical form. That's why we say sister, mister, monster, stir is star. And when you're famous, you're a star. Ancient paintings of Jesus show a star being descended down. Now you know the real reason why Paramount show the stars descending down, going to the mountain. Freemasons show the path back to the stars. Each one of us is God experiencing himself in a divided state. But the archons in this world brainwash your mind to trap your soul in here. When you learn the language of symbolism, your life will completely change. There's a secret code behind every ancient Christian painting. You're probably not going to be a Christian after watching this. When we add spheres to each one of these points on this Holy Trinity painting from the 1600s, what it actually shows is the Cabala tree. This is literally undeniable. You cannot not see it once you see it. Religious texts are encoded esoteric scriptures. In fact, every religion we have today stems back to the secret teachings of the Cabala. You think you're the body. We are not our body. We are not our thoughts. We are the soul. We have a soul, mind, and body. Jesus is the body. The Father is the mind. The soul is the Holy Spirit. The Twin Towers are an 11. Flight 11 was hijacked. New York is the 11th state. There were 11 crew members on the flight. 9/11 adds up to an 11. New York in gematria adds up to 111. Freemasonic pillars are an 11. With the black and white checkered board, black and white add up to 11. 11, 11. Black is matter, white is spirit. Was this just a Masonic ritual? I'm not making any claims, but I'm just pointing things out. Physical is phi cycle. The phi symbol is the Taurus field. We live in a cycle of an electromagnetic field. Birth, growth, decay, and death. Spring, summer, fall, winter. Morning, afternoon, evening, night. Everything comes out of the ether and returns back to the ether. That's why death has ether within it, because your soul came through the ether and then you will return back through the ether. Back to your astral light body. Your soul goes back to the ether every night when you go to sleep. That's why sleep is the cousin of death, because sleep is just a microcosm of this macrocosm cycle. Day and night, summer, winter, everything is just a cycle of the atom and how energy works. That's why blood leaves the heart and returns back to the heart. Just like how the heart's energy field leaves the heart and goes back to the heart. The heart is an infinite energy source. Heart rearranged is ether. Your heart speaks the language of the universe, energy. You never actually die, your soul lives forever. However, we need to detach from every addiction we have before we die. Human is hue man. Hue is an attribute of a color. Color is light. Hue is light. Man is manifested. We are light manifested in physical form. We are holographic electromagnetic beings. Heart rearranged is earth. The heart chakra is green and the earth is green. And the sky is blue and the throat chakra is blue. You're not a body inside of a universe. You are the universe experiencing itself, a microcosm form. Nothing is separate from you. You are all things. Religion has just externalized these teachings. Dreams carry secret messages and you can take advantage of them. You have two minds, a conscious and a subconscious. When we sleep, we move from the conscious into the subconscious, moving from the physical into the astral. The astral plane is the imagination, a screen we have in our mind. And our subconscious stores every belief and memory. The people in your dream are not real people. Dreams are materializations of your subconscious mind. Every person you meet and every place you go are a materialization of your beliefs and memories. So if you have a nightmare, this is just a materialization of your negative thoughts and worries. For example, if a Christian has a dream and he sees Jesus in his dream, this was not Jesus. It was his subconscious belief materializing in the astral plane. Write down your dreams every time you have one, and you can start to see what your subconscious is trying to show you, and you can take advantage of this. But whatever you do, never look into a mirror in a dream. Jesus never existed. The Last Supper is astrology. Each body part is ruled by a zodiac. Aries the lamb rules the head, which is why he's on the head of the table. Taurus rules the neck. He has a very thick neck for Taurus the bull. The next sign is Gemini. Gemini is the two arms, the two twins. That's why his hands are up for the two twins. Next sign is Cancer the crab with pinchers. He's holding a knife for the pincher of Cancer. The next sign is Leo when the sun is powerful, radiant and summer. That's why he's showing dominance with a clenched fist and an elbow on the table. The next sign is Virgo the virgin. He's pointing that there's no Adam's apple. This is a woman, a Virgo the virgin. Jesus is the sun, the light of the world, the risen savior, the son of God. He's placed in a triangle to symbolize the sun's rays. One hand up for the daytime, one hand down for the taking away of the sun at nighttime. Libra is when the sun is balanced between summer and the winter. That's why Libra is the balanced scales, and the symbol is a half rising sun. That's why he's holding his arms out balanced. Next sign is Scorpio with this man pointing upwards. Scorpio is our reproductive sexual organs. He's pointing up because you must raise your sexual energy up to Aries. That's why Aries is an anagram for arise. They're in 4 groups of 3 because there are 3 months in each season. Luke, Mark, John and Matthew. Spring, summer, fall, winter. Jesus is the sun, which is our soul. Spring is our physical body. Summer is our spirit. Fall is our emotions, winter. I've noticed something a bit strange about these LA fires everyone's been tagging me in. The first weird thing that I noticed is that insurance companies dropped fire coverage 3 months before the fire started. And many people have reported electrical wires from the power grid causing these fires. And of course, the water supply has been cut off. And don't you think it's a bit weird in this picture that all of the trees stay standing but the houses aren't? Of course, this is for educational purposes only and I'm not claiming anything. And then we go to Google and type in 2028 Smart LA City. What a coincidence they want to build a smart city in LA. And of course, it's a lot easier to build a whole city if there's no buildings there. Of course, this is just for educational purposes only, and I hope everyone is safe over there. Thank you. The sun is electric, the moon is magnetic, male and female, fire and water. The sun gives you energy, it's a positive charge. The moon is negatively charged, taking away your energy. Yin and yang. The earth is darkness, it produces no light of its own. All of the light comes from above, from the etheric and astral plane. The earth is matter, above is spirit. The sun is floating because it's in the etheric plane. As above, so below. All the life comes from above. That's why all religions stem back to the worshipping of the stars. Because the material plane is only alive because of the etheric life force. That's why Jesus is the risen savior. He is the sun with the 12 disciples, 12 zodiac signs. And the sun raises every day and saves you. Jesus was not a real person, but an astrological code. Lucifer is Venus. Lucifer in the Bible is the son of the morning, or the morning star. Just before the sunrise every morning, Venus shows up. Venus is the morning star. The 7 planets are 7 spiritual forces that create the physical universe. Saturn rules the roots. The sun rules the stem. Jupiter rules the fruit. Mercury's the messenger, the intelligence behind the tree. The moon governs the leaves. And Venus governs the beauty, the looks, and the smell of the tree. That's why the sigil of Lucifer is the visual field, because Lucifer or Venus governs the visual aspect of reality. That's why he's known as the light bearer or the false light. Because this world is the false reality, the false light. And the false light can trick you into materialism, pulling you away from your true spiritual form. Lucifer is a metaphor about your consciousness falling for the material plane. Physical world is a veil which can turn you evil, because you are not from here. The matrix is keeping you in love with the material plane, which leaves you feeling soulless and empty inside. This sign is not the devil horns, it's the moon crescent. Moon is mood, which is emotion. The moon crescent on top of the head symbolizes emotion ruling over our mind, our body, our life. Devil is red because the red is the lowest vibrational color. And this is you when you are operating your life in your animal nature. The devil is the ground animal, the lower self. The bird is the angel, which is the higher self. See the man standing on the moon. This represents conquering the emotion, and they no longer govern your life. Your emotions change all the time, and this is symbolized as the moon phases. Money rules your emotions, and this is why money has moon within it. A demon is actually your emotions. God and the devil exist within yourself. It's a battle between your higher mind and lower mind, between the 5 senses and your mind, your consciousness. Religion has externalized the truth, so they keep you in your animal nature. Why is it the ancients always wore silver? This is gonna blow your mind. Your brain and your body is a bioelectric system. Your body is basically a technological machine which serves as an interface that allows consciousness to interact with the 3D world. Your body's flow of ions and electrons helps to ensure that your body's bioelectric machinery operates harmoniously and supports vital functions, which is why the ancients wore silver and precious metals, because they enhance the flow of ions and electrons, which can enhance the flow of electricity within your body, making your brain to process information quicker. You are an electromagnetic machine. The human body is a battery. This is why we have to charge ourselves constantly with energy. Silver is said to be one of the best energy conductors. Silver has the ability to minimize electrical resistance, which improves cellular communication and energy flow. This is the original reason why humans used to wear jewelry, not to enhance our looks, but to enhance the functions of our electrical bodies. If you have neck, wrist, or ankle pain, you would wear a specific metal around this area. We are not in 2025. Month comes from the word moon, moonth. The moon has a 28-day moon cycle. 365 divided by 28 is 13. 13 lunar cycles every year, which means our calendar has a missing month, which means we don't know what year we're actually in. This is gonna blow your mind. The sky is a clock. The sun tells the time of the day. The moon tells the day of the month. The stars tell you the month of the year. The sky above our head is intelligent. Everything on earth is matter. Everything above us is spirit. That's why they're floating. They're not rocks you can land on. The Gregorian calendar was made for slaves. Calendar comes from calends, the first day of the month the Romans had to pay off their debt. So what does all of this actually mean, and why did they do it? They made this fake calendar to cut off our connection communication with our celestial intelligence above and keep our mind, body and spirit out of rhythm with these cycles. We must live in harmony with the cycles above us. You can create abundance in your life with using the moon to your advantage. All of my students know that. Freemasons are satanic according to Christians, yet King James, who commissioned the Bible, was a Freemason. He even wrote a book on demonology, what Christians call witchcraft. So they're believing a book which was written by a Freemason. We live in a scripted reality. The Bible has been altered to match the events playing out today, making it seem like a divine prophecy when it's actually a long-term plan. Revelation, it's not unfolding naturally, it was scripted by those in power. They've been following the plan for generations. So the question is, are you following the script or seeing through the illusion? Is it just me, or does the world seem as if it's losing its colour? There's even been images of this taken in 2021 compared to 2023. Who remembers seeing the sun as a yellow ball of energy? Now we just have this white light. Like, what are they doing? Personally, I think this is the result of weather manipulation, geoengineering, EMF towers, and pollution. As a child, I remember sitting in nature and you would be covered in insects. Now, when you go into nature, you hardly see any. Let me know if you can relate in the comments. The Egyptian gods never existed. They symbolize the different body parts of your body. Anubis represents the tongue. He's a dog with the barking because the power of life and death is in the tongue. Falcon of Horus is the inner brainstem. Osiris, the god of death and the underworld. He represents the reptilian brain, hence why he's green and has reptiles next to him. The reptilian brain is when our consciousness exists in death because we don't think. Horus with the circle on his head represents the limbic system in the brain. Amun-Ra is the hippocampus in the brain. Ra is where we get RAM. Computer has a RAM for memory, and the hippocampus in the brain is all to do with memory. This is the Lamb of God. Thoth, the god of wisdom, the one who preserves the ancient wisdom. Ibis bird is the sternum, which is the chest, which contains the treasure, which is our soul, our heart. Our heart contains the sacred knowledge. Sternum protects the heart, the treasure. He preserves the wisdom. The Ankh is the portal into the physical world, the uterus. The Bible even tells you that animals are deeply symbolic. Job 12:7. Ask the beasts of the field and they will teach you, the birds of heaven and they will tell you. Because each animal represents a part of the human experience. Snakes represent the wave of energy. The Egyptians saw each body part had a specific role in the human experience. And these parts of our body are very sacred. If you want to learn more, then read the Book of Wisdom, Volume 2. Religions were made to hide the truth about yourself. Every religion has a sacred river. For the Egyptians, it's the River Nile. For the Christians, it's the Jordan River. This river is the human spinal cord. The brain produces cerebrospinal fluid through the pineal and the pituitary gland. When the moon enters your sun sign, the cerebrospinal fluid falls down the spine every month to regulate the systems of the body. Jesus was in Nazareth with Joseph and Mary. Joseph the pineal, Mary the pituitary. Jesus then travels down the Jordan River, your spine, and goes to Bethlehem, your sacrum bone. Joseph and Mary are waiting for Jesus' return, which is the brain waiting for the oil to return back up the spine. And when Jesus returns back up the Jordan River, the spine, to Joseph and Mary, he's crucified in Golgotha, which translates to a place in the skull, at the age 33, because there are 33 vertebrae on the back of your spine. So this process of Jesus is symbolic of raising the cerebrospinal fluid back to your brain. This process activates dormant parts of the brain that were never activated before, making the brain process information quicker and working more efficiently. The whole Bible is a spiritually encoded text on how to reach the higher human potential. The Symbolism Masterclass opens tomorrow. There are limited spaces. If you look at the Matrix, Neo's plugged in on the back of his neck, right into the reptilian brain. This part of the brain doesn't think, just reacts. It's all about survival, running on pure instinct, just like everyone trapped in the Matrix. When Neo is unplugged, he's freed from the reptilian brain. His name Neo represents the neocortex, the part of the brain that allows critical thinking, learning, and expansion. That's the real way of escaping the Matrix, overcoming fear, breaking free from the programming, and activating the higher consciousness. Neo worked at a place called Metacortex for a reason. This is all about transcending the lower mind and mastering the self to the higher parts of the brain and human potential. They've lied to you about geometry. Every frequency has its own geometric pattern. Physical matter is just low vibrating energy at a specific frequency. Everything is vibration, vibrating on a specific frequency, which creates a different geometric pattern. Everything contains geometry. They tell you this is God's mathematical codes behind this reality. The true geometry is within you. Brain is an energy decelerator. Nothing around you is physical, it's energy, and your brain condenses it into a reality that you can interact with. Light enters the eyes, it turns into electricity and goes to the optic nerve to the visual cortex, and it creates an image in the brain. Therefore, you are not in the world is within your brain and body. You're experiencing a simulation by your nervous system. Therefore, geometry is actually your brain's mathematical codes on turning energy into matter. These geometric patterns is basically your brain's way of decoding energy. Nothing is outside of you and you are projecting this reality, the creator and the programmer. This is why the church tells you not to do yoga. The nervous system stores emotional trauma. For example, you're in a car crash. Just before you crash, your body starts to tense up in the anticipation for the impact. The nervous system stores this tension, and your nervous system has stored every sensation you've ever had. Over time, all of these tensions can manifest into a physical problem such as back pain, joint aches, and even disease. Yoga is highly effective from releasing stored trauma from the nervous system before it can manifest into any problems. You know that amazing feeling you get after stretching? That's all of your trauma and negative energy being released from your nerves. Yoga does not open demonic doors into your consciousness. It's just another fear that the church installs to you, so you stop increasing your consciousness. Orgasms are ruining your life. When you release, you produce dopamine. Dopamine is the brain's reward system. When you release, you get a spike in dopamine, feeling amazing. This tells your body that you have achieved something. Then your dopamine levels plunge. If you have an orgasm every day, then you are tricking your brain and body that you have achieve something, because you're activating the brain's reward system. This is why you feel lazy, tired, and unmotivated to do anything with your life, because your body already feels accomplished and achieved something. When you stop watching these dirty websites, then your brain will start to seek dopamine in other things, like writing a book or making something out your life. Sex is the best possible feeling that the human body can feel, and if you experience this feeling every day, then you will numb yourself to the little things in life that you won't be able to enjoy, because you're giving yourself the epitome of feelings. When you stop watching porn and releasing, your life will change. Ever wondered why your middle finger's considered swearing? There's a hidden element that they've hid from you called ether. 5 points on the body, 5 elements. 5 fingers, 5 elements. They demonized your middle finger because it's ether. But what exactly is the ether? Ether is like the blueprint to all physical creation. They covered up the ether by calling it dark matter. It's where all energy comes from and returns back to. Think of it as an eternal water of life feeding everything with energy. Yes, the ether can provide free 0-point energy, but that is not the biggest secret. The biggest secret about the ether is that our minds can manifest whatever we project into it into a reality. This is what the Matrix is showing you with these codes. You can change the codes to reality by changing your inner consciousness. The ether acts as a barrier from the imagination plane, astral, into the physical plane. Just look at the words that we use. Together. Ether. There's so much more that goes into this. Make sure to follow me. Did you know the 7 deadly sins are 7 blocked chakras? And a sin is not an action. You have an etheric energy body. The emotions are energy in motion. If you feel any of these emotions, you waste the etheric life force that's feeding your body. These emotions can quite literally aid you because your body's being fed by this life force. Sin is not an action, but a force that you cultivate within yourself that disrupts the life force within you. Now, I'm not saying that you go out and work on these chakras. These chakras are a result of your own mind. If you gain mastery over your mind, your emotions will fall in place. Work on removing these things from your mind. Thoughts create emotions and emotions create actions. One last thing, the church is scamming you. Sin is not an action. The devil is not a real character. These things are all inside of you. Allegories and myths to represent aspects of your psyche. Symbolism Masterclass is now available, but it's closing soon. The human body is liquid crystal. There are CIA documents which reveal that. Radios use crystals to pick up frequencies and turn them into sound. Your body works the same way. Your pineal gland has crystalline structures that act like an antenna. Your body is a radio, tuning into the infinite stream of consciousness, the mind of God. We are all God in human form, experiencing life through the illusion of separation. God created the 3D world to experience himself instead of the oneness. You don't need to go to church to connect with God. You are God. The key is going within through breathwork, meditation, and inner awareness. Religion was made to externalize this truth, to keep you away from your own divine power.